Yes, people, welcome back. I've got a great one for you because it's time for us to do a check-in on our channel stock plays. Listen, our plays have been on fire this year, and I know so many of you guys have made so much money on the plays, but I want to let you guys know there's so much more room in the tank. And that being said, I'm going to give you guys the latest and greatest on our plays that's going to put you guys in a position to make maximum profits on the plays for the rest of this year. So I've got a good one for you guys. Listen, there's nothing more I like seeing than you win. But speaking of which, let me go ahead and introduce you guys to the members in the team over the Patreon that get into the option plays with me. Because listen, it was cash windfalls for the whole team to kick off this week. Check it out. Soyab in the building, clocking in $1,200 in profit on our play, showing them how it's done. All right, Chrissy M with 152% on our play. Check it out. Got the one and only Yad clocking in $2,500 in profit. One more for good measure. Pedro Pete, show them how it's done. 190% in return. Listen, guys. This is how we pull up to the options market, making hundreds of percentage points in return. That being said, I want you guys to click the link down below, join the members over the Patreon, join the team so that you guys are with us the next time we run the options play, all right? We're taking the team to the top. It's non-stop momentum right through to the close of the year, and I'd love to see you there, all right? That being said, let's get back to the plays. We're going to kick it off with none other than Robinhood, right? So check it out. Listen, this is a play that I was speaking to you guys about only last week, all right? But let's go back down memory lane before we talk about last week's activity, because this is a play that we picked up in the 40s, all right? So listen, if you're new to the channel, don't be mad with me that YouTube didn't recommend the channel to you back in January when this thing was at $40. That's when we all jumped on this one, all right? So we doubled our money in the play. But I want to let you guys know this thing is going to $100. So there's still room in the tank. We just had some pretty big news when it comes to Robinhood. You guys know I told you they're at the forefront of the market, all right? These guys are what we call visionaries. Now they're introducing something called tokenized shares, okay? This is going to be the new game, the new wave in this liquid asset space. When it comes to innovation, when it comes to being the visionary, all right, Robinhood is going to be leading the charge. This is something I've been trying to tell you guys right through from the start of the year, and you're seeing it materialize before your eyes. And I know a lot of you guys are in this one. I know a lot of you guys have been smiling this week as this thing has been rocketing higher, right? Currently just shy of $92. This thing is inevitably going to $100. Still more room in the tank. Now, here's the thing. What I want you guys to understand is this is what we call an overreaction, okay? So in the last day or so, we've seen Robinhood move up 11% after already a meteoric rise over the month. This is an overreaction. Doesn't mean that it can't go higher, but I want you guys to know there will be a corrective force, a corrective phase that will come into play. You guys know I do the one-to-one sessions with you. I jumped on a one-to-one session with my man Mark, and he was saying, why don't we just short Robinhood here? I want you guys to take a look at the charts. Take a look at that 1 month chart, right? Listen, we never short anything that looks like this, where it's one-way action for a whole month. You don't short it. There's so many better opportunities, right? Because this thing can easily continue to creep higher. This is what we call a detachment from the market. When the rest of the market is doing one thing and you have one particular play doing something completely different or just way out of whack, when it gets detached like that, you don't take option trades on those detached situations, okay? Much better opportunities in the tank. But that being said, listen, this is going to be a play that we continue to hold, that we continue to rock with, that we continue to ride higher. There's going to be times where they're going to gift you entries, okay? So we see this thing back into the 80s, the low 80s. That's going to be a gift of an opportunity to take it much higher from there. But I just want to go ahead and celebrate you guys who are in this play, those of you guys who took on board the intel on this one, but it's going to $100, right? Let's move to a next channel play. Let's check out what's going on with Uber. You guys know this is one that, again, we've been in since the start of the year, since it was $60. It's currently $92. What I want you guys to understand and know with Uber, it's business as usual. they're doing phenomenal things. Now, we haven't seen too much activity over the last week. No, we can't expect activity every single week in these plays. Listen, if you want activity every week, it's the options market. That's where you want to be. But I want you guys to understand that sometimes the play has to move lower to move higher. So now this is coming to a little bit of what we call resistance. Okay, this is a level where price struggles to get above at around the 92 buck mark. Again, that's just normal course of action. We can see this thing easily drop into the high 80s and then make a pass, but this is en route now to get to our $100 target. It's a target we've been talking about since the beginning of the year, since January, and we are finally there. I can't wait to celebrate with all of you guys who are in this one with me, who got into this one in January, got into this one in February when it was in the 60s. All right, we've almost hit that $100 checkpoint that we've been eagerly anticipating and waiting for. It's almost there. It's en route. Give it a couple more weeks and we'll be celebrating $100 in the name. All right, let's move to the next one. Let's jump into Google. All right, this is one that's got tons of upside. Listen, this is one that's a buy right now, 176 bucks. It's a buy right now where it's at, because by the time we close out this year, we're looking at Alphabet, we're looking at Google at 250 bucks. Okay, that is tons of upside in the name. Listen, I'm going to make sure I make it clear, just like I did with Uber, and you see that meteoric rise, just like I did with Robinhood. I'm going to make it very clear that this thing is going to 250 bucks. So those of you guys who want to ride it from 176 right now up to 250, you know what to do. You know what course of action to take. Again, this is another name that when it's 250, we'll be pulling up with the bottles to celebrate on. All right. So big potential in this name. Again, we've seen some fantastic moves in this one, mainly this reversal from the 164, 165 level, which has now pushed it up into the mid 170s. That's exactly what we need. That's the momentum, that's the setup, that's the energy that we need to push this thing into the 180s and into the 190s and beyond. Right, another underlooked, overvalued animal in the market, just like Robinhood was, just like Uber was. Google presents some of the best upside you're going to see in the market from now to the time we close out the year. I think I made my point clear. That being said, let's move to the next one. None other than GME. Listen, currently 23 bucks. This one is making a what we call a silent recovery. Okay, but behind the scenes, yeah, we saw this thing drop to the 21s, but now it's hovering at 23. So this is on course to do what we call a U-shape reversal. Okay, a U-shaped reversal right back up to the 30s. Now we know that what we really want to see is an injection of pace in Bitcoin. We'll see Bitcoin start to move. More on that in a second. But before we get to that, I want to let you know that this one has 100% upside in the tank this year. Okay, you guys let me know what you think down below on this one. But that being said, you don't need to get into all the plays, guys. Just get into the one that resonates with you. All right. So another name that's got huge potential from now to the time we close out the year. As a matter of fact, out of all these names, on a stock level, it's got the most upside. Okay. How Robinhood's having an overreaction to the upside is how GameStop right now is having an overreaction to the downside. But this thing is slowly creeping up behind the scenes. Give it a week, it'll be at 25. Give it a week later, it'll be at 27. Before you know it, before we wrap up this month of July, we are back easily into the 30s. And then it's go time to the 40s, all right? Again, another underestimated, overlooked animal in the markets. But let's take a look at Bitcoin, currently standing 105,000 bucks. Listen, this is doing exactly what we want it to do, which is silently just churning on week after week. Because what that does is it takes the eyeballs off the name. And then when you get that true injection of pace, that true energy, that momentum, it's all going to flood in and rush in one go. Okay, so you're going to see big jumps in this, 5% here, 7% there. And that's going to take this all the way up into the 140s by the time we done wrapping up this year. So that's huge money from where it's at 105. Okay, don't let them distract you. Don't let them Don't let them blindside you, all right? Don't let them make you think that this hasn't got room in the tank. It's got so much room in the tank from now till December. All right, so listen, this is a little update on our channel plays and where they're going, how you guys should react to them if you want to go ahead and maximize the opportunity that they are giving you. All right, so listen, these are ones that we're going to continue to track, continue to monitor, and continue to reap the rewards on together. All right, so that's the video for today. I'll see all of you guys on the next one.